There are years that are good. There are years that are great. And then there is 1978. When we talk about the history of Hong Kong martial arts cinema, 1978 isn't just another date. It's a crossroads, a moment when several creative currents collided and reshaped what kung fu films could be. By the late 1970s, the genre could feel familiar. Revenge dramas, stoic heroes, repetitive arcs. But in 1978, that began to change. In 12 months, the industry saw new tones, new ensembles, and a renewed focus on authenticity, changes that still echo today. First, the rise of action comedy. With Snake in the Eagle's Shadow and Drunken Master, Jackie Chan and choreographers like Yuen Wu-ping reinvented the martial arts hero, flawed, physical, and funny. These films didn't discard tradition, they expanded it, showing that a fight could be funny and that humor could heighten, not diminish, danger. Second, the Venom Mob phenomenon. Under Chang Cheh, a new troupe of performers emerged, acrobatic, stylized, and ensemble-focused. Their films emphasized unusual techniques, clan intrigue, and a raw, kinetic energy that gave the genre new visual signatures. Third, a renewed emphasis on traditional technique and philosophy. Directors like Lau Kar-leung and the Shaw Brothers Studios brought rigorous training sequences, faithful styles, and a philosophical grounding to on-screen combat. Choreography that read as real practice, not just spectacle. So many classics arose this year that it's easy to lose track, from indie gems like Born Invincible to the grand Shaw Brothers epics. Here's my ranking, the 20 greatest martial arts movies from the year 1978. The top 5, films that defined 1978. We start with the best of the best, movies that have crossed the line from essential cult classics into sheer cinematic royalty. These are the top 5 that make 1978 the uncontested king of kung fu cinema. Number 5, Heroes of the East. Directed by Lau Kar-leung, Heroes of the East plays less like a revenge picture and more like a study in martial philosophy. The film stages a respectful cultural contest, Chinese styles versus a range of Japanese techniques. Every fight functions as a lesson in technique, measurement, and discipline. The movie treats combat as a cultural conversation. The pacing is deliberate, the sequence is precise, and the payoff is a film that teaches as much as it thrills. It's a calm, rigorous testament to martial arts as an ethical practice rather than simply spectacle. Number 4, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. This film is Jackie Chan's first major turn as a new kind of screen hero. The choreography blends traditional animal styles with physical comedy and surprising timing. Jackie's body becomes a comic instrument and a weapon at once. He trips, improvises, and turns mistakes into tactics. The film's tone is light, but its technical ambition is clear. Timing, rhythm, and the interplay of humor with danger. It's the moment the genre learned playful irreverence without losing martial credibility. Number 3, Five Deadly Venoms. Chang Cheh's cult classic constructs an entire mythos around 5 styles: toad, scorpion, lizard, centipede, and snake, each embodied by a mysterious fighter. The film blends a treasure hunt mystery with brutal, inventive choreography and a shadowy moral world. Its strength is atmosphere, stylized costumes, memorable silhouettes, and the sting of paranoia as characters try to unmask allies and enemies. Five Deadly Venoms didn't just give us memorable moves, it gave us an aesthetic, a palette of archetypes that filmmakers and fans would reference for decades. Number 2, Drunken Master. If Snake in the Eagle's Shadow introduced the concept, Drunken Master perfected it. Jackie Chan's performance fuses acrobatics, slapstick, and tight, innovative choreography to create kinetic comedy with real technical depth. The drunken boxing sequences are cunningly crafted. They look loose and chaotic, yet they require exceptional balance, timing, and stamina. The film transformed audience expectations. Fights could be clever, funny, and character-driven. Its success reframed what martial arts cinema could sell to mainstream viewers: charm and virtuosity at once. Number 1. The 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Directed by Lau Kar-leung and starring Gordon Lee, The 36th Chamber is both a spiritual and cinematic blueprint. The narrative, a young man's ascent through progressively harsher training chambers, is simple, but the film's heart is its method, meticulous exercises, ritualized learning, and the slow, painful accumulation of mastery. Each training trial is filmed with clarity, turning physical repetition into a rite of passage. Beyond choreography, the film explores sacrifice, discipline, and responsibility. It codified the training montage in martial arts cinema and influenced filmmakers across genres. It's rigorous, humane, and endlessly instructive. Places 6 through 10, powerful works close behind the top 5. We now move to the contenders that exemplify the year's incredible output. These are masterpieces of action and choreography that would be number 1 in any other year. Number 10. Shaolin Mantis. A finely tuned piece centered on the praying mantis style. The film's choreography is rhythmic and cunning. The mantis techniques become an extension of character psychology, deceptive, quick, and precise. Lau Kar-leung's direction emphasizes technique as strategy, and the fight scenes pay off both emotionally and tactically. Number 9. Born Invincible. Joseph Quo's cult oddity, the threatening silver fox, a technique that makes him seemingly invulnerable, creates a tense, uncanny antagonist. This film trades big spectacle for mood and menace. It's atmospheric, eerie, and memorable for its inventive problem-solving sequences. Number 8. The Avenging Eagle. A darker, more tragic Shaw Brothers entry, driven by themes of loyalty, betrayal, and revenge. Ti Lung and Alexander Fusheng bring emotional weight to a plot thick with duplicity. The weapon choreography is complex and hard-hitting. Every duel carries narrative consequence. Number 7. Crippled Avengers. A uniquely brutal tale of revenge, where physical impairment becomes an instrument of vengeance. The protagonists, each disabled in different ways, adapt their bodies into lethal systems. The result is inventive, often harrowing choreography, married to a darkly satisfying revenge arc. Number 6. Warriors 2. Sammo Hun's early classic of Wing Chun authenticity. Sparse in artifice but rich in technique, Warriors 2 exposes the mechanics and principles of the style with clarity. Its fights are taught as lessons, precise, efficient, and convincingly realized.
Places 11 to 20, solid pillars of 1978's output. We now enter the realm of historical landmarks and high-quality genre pictures. These films are essential viewing, not just for their action, but for their role in the incredible cinematic ecosystem of 1978. Number 20. Heaven's Sword and Dragon Saber, Part 1 and 2. Adapted from classic material, a weighty tale of destiny, fidelity, and duels that test both skill and conviction. Number 19. Dirty Tiger, Crazy Frog. An oddball comedy adventure that pairs slapstick with competent choreography. It's messy, playful, and a reminder that 1978 experimented with tone as much as technique. Number 18. Legend of the Bat. A moody, imaginative, and atmospheric Shaw Brothers wuxia fantasy. Bat-themed intrigue, masked heroes, and visual flair adapted from a Gu Long novel. Number 17. Swordsman and Enchantress. A sleek wuxia entry, stylish swordplay, moral dilemmas, and the graceful choreography of fantasy-era storytelling. Number 16. Soul of the Sword. Ti Lung leads a melancholic wuxia that favors internal conflict, an elegiac atmosphere over non-stop action. Its strength lies in mood and character, a swordsman grappling with honor, regret, and the costs of violence. Number 15. Clan of Amazons. Chu Yern's wuxia mystery, lavish sets, tangled plots, and stylized swordplay. The film leans into intrigue and spectacle, delivering an elegant fantasy with plenty of twists. Number 14. The Vengeful Beauty. A grim, stylish revenge film anchored by a powerful female lead. Darker in tone, It blends melodrama with violent set pieces and showcases Shaw Brothers' willingness to foreground lethal, unconventional weapons and morally complex protagonists. Number 13. Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin, a more traditional Jackie Chan vehicle, showcasing early acrobatic skill and classical technique. The film hints at the comedic genius to come while remaining grounded in established styles. Number 12. Enter the Fat Dragon, Sammo Hung's affectionate spoof tribute to Bruce Lee. Physically adept, warmly comic, and surprisingly heartfelt, it balances homage with Sammo's own comic sensibilities. Number 11. Invincible Shaolin, a Chang Cheh ensemble piece with heavy training and rivalry themes. It's muscular, schematic, and full of the group dynamics that defined the Venom era. Of course, there are more martial arts movies from 1978 that are worth mentioning, like Spiritual Kung Fu, Flying Guillotine 2, Shaolin Handlock, The Brave Archer Part 2, A Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Magnificent Bodyguards, and 10 Tigers of Shaolin. You may have expected Game of Death on a 1978 list. It was released that year, but the 1978 version was largely assembled after Bruce Lee's death from unfinished footage, interpolated scenes, and body doubles. Because the released film is not a genuine, completed Bruce Lee production from the period, but rather a reconstituted project built around limited original material, it doesn't represent the creative developments that defined 1978's martial arts output. Its cultural significance is real, but it's not a fair match for a list of the year's authentic, fully realized productions. And that completes our definitive ranking. From the raw physical comedy of Jackie Chan to the technical mastery of Lau Kar-leung and the cult status of the Venom Mob, it is clear why 1978 remains Hong Kong's golden year. But now, it's your turn. Which film did we rank too high? Or which low-ranking classic deserved to be in the top 10? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more journeys into the golden age of Hong Kong cinema.